Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of your Westland City Council to order. We will begin tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Andrea Rakowski.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rakowski, for leading us in the pledge. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Bauman. Present. Councilman Hart.
Here.
Councilwoman Maxwell.
Oh, sorry, President. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Rakowski.
Present.
Councilman Sullivan.
Here.
Pro Tem Sampe.
Here.
President McDermott.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Okay, before we begin with our special announcements and presentations tonight, I did want to take a moment on behalf of the council and the city to recognize a longtime public servant that we lost here in the Westland community very recently. And that is the loss of the former Westland Mayor, Tom Taylor. For some of you who have been around for quite some time, I see some faces in the audience, and some of you up here, you knew Tom personally, and you got to know him well. Tom was born in 1936 and lived in the Nankin and Westland communities for most all of his life. Tom served our country as a veteran. He was in the Marines. Tom was a Marine, and he was a longtime public servant here in our Westland community, serving as mayor from 1975 to 1982. And even when you drive around the community here today, When you go down Marquette and you see the Thomas Taylor Towers, where many of our seniors in the community live, those are named and dedicated in Mayor Taylor's honor. So if we could honor Mayor Taylor with a moment of silence, please. Thank you, and our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to the Taylor family. We have a couple of special announcements and presentations tonight. We are going to start out by hearing from Miriam Katie and all the wonderful things they're doing at Relay.
Hello, everyone, and some new faces. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak tonight. Really appreciate it. Just wanted to, let me get on my presentation here. Yes, of course, we always loved having our Pizza Palooza at City Hall, but as a lot of you know, we outgrew it, which was sad, but also a good thing, right? The Wayne Ford Civic League was kind enough, Jim and Linda and their daughter and everybody, Vic, and to allow us to have it there. And it was just so wonderful, and I know it was a lot of work, so we'll work on a couple things for next year, and hopefully they'll have us back. It was pretty amazing. We raised $7,559. We exceeded last year. So this is 2430 increase from last year, 2,430. So we were just so blessed, and a lot of you that were there were, just so thankful for your attendance and being patient. It's a new place, and we're obviously gonna work on a couple things, but it's all been very good, and everybody seemed to have a great time, and the pizza vendors, we had some new people this year, and so hopefully we'll get a few more next year. But I also wanted to bring up our first lap. ACS, American Cancer Society, starts first lap for 2026. It is going to be at the Farmers Market from 12 to 2 o'clock on Saturday, January 10th. If anybody would like to join us, we have a lot of fun and starting our 2026 year. And then also, of course, we have other things coming up, but this is also another great thing that we started last year, Ladles of Hope. Some of you did attend. It's a chili and soup event. That is January 27th at Westland City Hall here from 6 p.m. to 7:30. Same thing, adults $10, children $5. And it was really started out to be a great success last year. Everybody seemed to really love it, so we're going to continue with it. And we thought, in January, who wouldn't want a bowl of super chili, right? So we just really heartfelt thank you to all of you for always your continued support, and onward and upward for Relay for Life for year 26 in 2026. And thank you again, and condolences to the Taylor family. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam Katie, and thank you to the entire team at Relay for all the great work you do year-round. We very much appreciate it. Our second special announcement and presentation is a presentation for one of my colleagues. It is unfortunately going to be his final meeting tonight, but we have a plaque that we would like to present to Councilman Jim Hart, so if I could get the Deputy Mayor and Pro Tem to join me up front.
Does that mean I gotta go too?
And Councilman Hart, man of the hour.
Tonight's Jim's last meeting as a city council member. And, Jim, it was a pleasure serving with you when I was on the city council. And on behalf of the mayor and all of the directors and people, the residents of the city, we want to thank you for your service to the city and wish you the best of luck in your future. So on behalf of everyone in the city, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I too, as the council president, want to say thank you, Councilman, for your 8 years of service. Thank you, Jim. But also thank you for your leadership and your mentorship. When I took over this role as council president, he was the first person in line to support me and the first person in line to guide me through this process. And Lord knows, running a meeting sometimes is not always easy, and there can be a steep learning curve. And Jim has been there every step of the way to help me through the ups and the downs and the everything in between. And throughout our tenure together on the city council, he's always been someone that I can reliably count on to bounce advice off of, and to get some pushback when it's like, hey, maybe that's not the best idea or not the right timing for that idea. Because he tells you how he feels. He doesn't sugarcoat it, and he doesn't lie, and he doesn't deceit. He tells you up front and honestly how he feels about a particular issue. And that's important in public service, and that's a sign of good leadership. So, Councilman Hart, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, Council President. Appreciate it.
I too want to say thank you, Jim. So it's been 4 years since, obviously I came in. So I had a chance to serve with you as a leader and then also as a colleague. And we're going to miss you a lot. Jim comes with a lot of knowledge of the city. He comes with the knowledge of many different things. And it's really important to have those type of leaders on council. So it's definitely a huge hole that's going to be missing. But I know that you'll have other ways to involve yourself in the city. You have other projects and things that you're working on. Now your beautiful wife, Linda, and your family can get you back and dedicate some more time traveling and just spending some time with each other. So 8 years is a very long time for someone to be in a public servant role, and you served so well and so honorable, and I'm very grateful that I was able to learn from you, but also as a friend, a colleague, and someone that I could trust and lean on for advice. So I want to congratulate you. Hopefully this isn't the last for you to be involved, but we all thank you. I really just want to thank you, and I look forward to your next role.
Yeah, I won't get too deep into comments right now, but thank you, everybody. You know, I've had the chance to serve my country, I served my state, and I served my city. Now I get to move on to serving my community in a new capacity, right? So while this might be the end of this chapter in the saga of Jim and Linda Hart and what we do, it is not the end of the story. So we're on to the next thing. I'll have more comments later on, but thank you. Let's get to the beginning.
Thanks.
Okay, we will now move on to questions or input on the agenda from the public. This section will allow members of the public at the beginning of the meeting to address council regarding items that are on tonight's business agenda. Questions asked may be responded to during the agenda item following a motion and support from your city council. Is there anyone on my right? Is there anyone on my left? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, we will close public comment on the agenda and move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Hart, supported by Councilwoman Rakowski. Are there any changes to the consent calendar? Any changes to the consent calendar? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
Council has approved the following consent calendar items: minutes of regular meeting held December 15th, 2025. Maintenance agreement renewal for interruptible power supply, UPS, for the Department of Innovation and Technology to enhance our current power distribution as it relates to the primary servers located at City Hall. Bid for official city newspaper. Administration recommends Don Nicholson Enterprises, LLC, doing business as the Marketplace News, commencing immediately and expiring on December 31st, 2026. Request from Relay for Life to waive the administrative fees associated with their 2026 events due to budgetary restrictions. Request from Develop a Dance Project to waive the administrative City Hall rental fee to host a daddy-daughter dance on Friday, February 6, 2026, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. at Westland City Hall. Introduction of proposed Parks and Recreation fee schedule changes for 2026. Waive procedure to allow the introduction of proposed Parks Recreation fee schedule and changes for 2026, and the adoption of proposed Parks and Recreation fee schedule changes for 2026. And the last item on the consent calendar tonight is approval to extend the payment of 2025 winter taxes without additional penalty until Friday, February 27th, 2026. Moving to payment of voucher.
Is there a motion?
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Pro Tem Sampe. Is there any discussion from the maker?
No, thank you.
Any discussion from the supporter? Is there any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business item number 1, approval of 2026 to 2031 UAW successor collective bargaining agreement between the City of Westland and the local UAW.
So moved.
There is a motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, and there is support by Councilman Hart. Director Field, if you'd like to add anything at this time?
I just want to say that it was a collaborative effort between the city and the UAW for the successor agreement, and it was passed unanimously by the union.
Okay, thank you, Director Field. Is there anything from the maker?
Oh, it's me. No, thank you.
Anything from the supporter?
Just glad that one of the last things I could do is vote yes on this contract.
Wonderful. Is there any other discussion from the council? Any other discussion? I will just say very quickly that this was, as Director Field mentioned, a very quick and cordial process that the bargaining team with the UAW Supervisory Union and the city went through, and this looks to be a fair and equitable contract that our bargaining team has negotiated for its members, and I think all parties involved are happy, and the workers here in our UAW local are very well compensated and taken care of as a result of this new CBA, should we choose to adopt it here, and I will be in full support of the bargaining agreement. Is there any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes unanimously.
New business item number 2, approval of purchase of a new FOIA management and emergency notification application.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there support? Motion by Councilwoman Rakowski, supported by Councilman Sullivan. Is there any discussion from the maker?
No, thank you.
Any discussion from the supporter?
No.
Any other discussion from the council? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes.
New business item number 3, approval of purchase agreement between the City of Westland and Motorola Solutions regarding radio equipment lease to replace all existing radios for both the police and fire departments.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Rakowski. Is there support? Supported by Councilman Sullivan. Did the chief have anything they wanted to add on this? Well, Darrell said he was going to talk about it.
Yeah, if you guys need be. Through the chair, first let me thank Lieutenant Sleep, who did probably 90% of the work on this. So I hope I do him proud up here. But like this states, it replaces all of the radios in both the police department and the fire department. That's both vehicle mounted and portable radios. I know on the fire side, we have some vehicle mounted radios that were installed prior to Jeff Cochran being hired here in 1989, I believe. So some of those are quite old. Really, they phased out that technology. We knew this was going to be on the horizon for a few years now, so we tried several different attempts at grants unsuccessfully, both as an individual department and as part of a regional grant, and those just unfortunately didn't get funded. So like I said, the technology is sunset upcoming in February. The parts and stuff for those radios haven't been available since February of this year. So we've had, a box full, 7 or 8 that we haven't been able to get fixed or replaced. So this replaces all of those. We had really kind of great terms with Motorola on this one. able to split that up. I know there's been questions on this in the past. It says lease, but we will own that equipment after that. There's not real true financing for government, so they call it lease. But that does allow us to buy them and over an extended period of time. So I'm happy to entertain any questions, but otherwise, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, anything from the maker? Yes, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Council President. Through the chair to Chief Stamper. I know this was kind of a little bit of one of those surprise purchases that came when they re-aged their equipment. Can you give us an idea beyond the lease term, how long we could expect these radios to be operational?
Yeah, so this is the newest technology, I think, and I'll just look over at Lieutenant Sleep on this one. Motorola says this should be good for 20 to 25 years. Obviously, all these radios, well, I don't know. I mean, some of the ones that we have now are way past 25 years. So I would expect, at least in my term, to never have to purchase radios again. So
Okay, so the real question is, will Cochran still be here?
Cochran may still be here. I will not probably, but Cochran may
That's
still
not
be
saying
here.
a lot.
Yeah, right?
That's right.
All right, thank you, Chief. I think having that information, you see this giant price tag, right? It's not very often that, a city can invest in items that, to the public, it's a radio, right? But to the public, they should recognize that that's the radio that is necessary for your public safety individuals to respond to all of your calls. So while it seems steep, it's really more of a priceless endeavor. But knowing that we're going to get such a long lifespan out of them, that should make all of us feel, a little bit better after seeing, $1.9
If I could add one more
million.
thing, actually, as far as the price stuff goes, working with both PD and FD together on this, we were able to save 40% on the radios. So pretty big savings, plus another 25%, I think, on like some of the accessories and stuff. So
Wonderful.
it was a pretty good savings for us working together as opposed to PD trying to branch out on their own and get it because of the volume. We were able to capitalize on the highest
fantastic.
discounted rate. So.
Well, I thank you, and I thank the individuals that worked on part of that committee. Thank you for your time and your expertise, and, obviously, we support this, and we support all that you do. So here's to another 25 years, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anything from the supporter?
No, I have nothing to add.
Okay, and I see you have your letter in Pro Tem Sampe.
Thank you, Council President. Just through the chair to Chief Stamper. So I know that there was a grant that was written to cover the cost for this, but if I'm not mistaken, it was pulled back. So now it has to come out of your operating budget. Is that, just for clarification purposes, is that what happened?
No, that grant monies were for something else.
Okay.
Yeah, no, for the radios, we've been unsuccessful in getting grants. And again, we tried individually as a department through Department of Homeland Security. They fund things at a regional level more frequently. So then we tried with all the surrounding communities as well. A little bit of the problem there is they capped that at $2 million. So it wouldn't have purchased radios for all of our departments. It wouldn't have purchased all of the radios anyway, but it might have taken out a chunk of that. But again, we've tried now this is the third year because we knew that this was coming. And we've been unsuccessful both individually and as part of a region, so.
Okay. So knowing that obviously things happen, are we just ordering a run over just for accidentals replacements? Or are we just ordering exactly the amount?
Yeah, sure. If you guys don't mind.
Yeah, we can have Lieutenant Sleep, please.
Thank you. Thanks, Lieutenant Sleep.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So I hope that I can answer your question.
Sure.
What this does is it replaces absolutely everything, and it gives us a few extra units for new hires and things of that nature. So, but what happens is the old radios are completely outdated. They are obsolete. Parts aren't available any longer anyway. So we couldn't even buy a couple extra of the old units, unfortunately, to keep up with today's technology. The federal standard was that there was a new encryption, and this is the newest in the family line of the public safety radio. So that's why the expectation of the lifetime is about 20 to 25 years on this. This will keep running.
Okay, so you guys are giving yourself a little buffer for new hires, any accidentals or anything? Just my question, and being $2 million, would you expect to come back for more, or is this all that you guys are asking for?
This is holistic. So
Okay.
this is the wires, the cables, the docks, the units themselves, the batteries. This is a holistic piece. So we don't expect to come back for anything other than for anything else
Okay.
along these lines. So,
Okay.
and as long as we're paying this off for the 7-year duration, these are under warranty. So there shouldn't have to be really repair costs as
Okay.
well either.
Awesome. Thank you, Lieutenant Sleep, and I know he's your tech point of contact for many different things, but thank you for your work and obviously getting this turned around quickly. We did know about this, and I know that there was a plan that was starting to put together, and maybe it didn't go the way that we had liked, but other municipalities are in the same situation, so,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, thank you.
Any other discussion from the council? Just a couple of quick questions. So, pardon my ignorance on this. So, with the new technologies out there, you mentioned like the battery technology. Do they offer like wireless charging technology with these new radios that are out there? Or how does that?
No, nothing wireless charging, but there are a lot of up-to-date things. The face of the radio will look a lot like a cell phone. Well, there will be GPS positioning that each officer or firefighter will be able to see where everybody is. And that will help in just a multitude of tactics and officer firefighter safety instances. So, and as well as being able to see that on the handheld, each commander's office will be able to be equipped with a computer screen that has access to that as well. So we should be able to see where everybody is at any point in time that the radios are powered on.
Wonderful. And then last question from me, from a cost perspective, this also includes the programming costs associated with the radio, because it's my understanding, we cannot program them in-house, right? They have to be sent out for programming. So that is baked in the cake here.
So there is 2 sets of programming. So there's an initial turning on cost with the state MPSCS. That cost is not into this. That will be a separate cost to switch those on with MPSCS. But the programming from Motorola and the encryption and all, that is all baked into this.
Okay, wonderful. And then Councilwoman, did you have a question?
I actually do.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Just a clarification, just as I'm looking at some of the details here. We're agreeing to this now, and the appropriation, it looks like the first payment's actually not due until January 1, 2027. So this would actually be something that we will be looking at in the next budget, that we will be making the proper, it'll come out of next year's budget. So there's no appropriation that's actually needed right now. Is that my understanding? Is that correct?
That's correct. That's the way that they structured their agreement, was that it's payments not due until 1 year after delivery.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so this will actually be something we talk, obviously we'll have approved it, but yeah, but it actually does need appropriation in this budget year.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All set, Councilwoman? Okay. Anything else from the council? Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Any dissent? Any dissent? Hearing and seeing none, motion passes. Thank you for your work, Lieutenant Sleep. We appreciate you and the chiefs for all your hard work. We know this was a year or more in the works, and a lot of collaboration with other communities, and unfortunately, due to the federal government, didn't go anywhere, but thank you for your work on this. We're very much appreciative of it.
Thank you.
All right. We are now on to public comment. Everyone speaking before the council should do so in a civil manner. Speakers should refrain from abusive or profane remarks, vulgar language, disruptive outbursts, threats, racial slurs, or other conduct that interferes with the orderly conduct of the business meeting. Personal attacks on council members, the administration, city staff, other speakers, or members of the public do not promote civil discourse. Comments shall be directed to the chair and not to the people in the audience. The chair shall call to order any person who is being disorderly by speaking when not having been recognized by the chair or is being disruptive to the proceedings. If any person, after being called to order, continues to be disorderly, creating a public 13 disturbance, the chair may order that person be removed from the meeting immediately. Is there anyone on my left? Yes, Mr. Nicholson.
Evening, Council, Deputy Mayor. Just wanted to say thank you for trusting us with the paper, with the legal notices for one more year. I'm very happy to help the city out and do anything we can. Want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you probably in the new year because we're heading out to DC on Monday. So, but no, thank you very much. Mr. LeBlanc, did you need some extra time? Should I save this for you?
Can't
Have
pass
a
it
good
off.
night.
Sorry. Thank you, Don. Is there anyone on my right?
Is this for agenda related?
It's for public comment on anything you wish to talk about, Mr. Kaufman.
Hello. I screwed up 2 weeks ago when I came here to participate in public comment. But as I was busy during the meeting putting the finishing touches on this comment, the public comment period went and passed, and I neglected to pay the proper attention, so I'm going to give the remarks I would have and should have given 2 weeks ago. And in the beginning where I referred to 2 weeks ago, in relation to tonight, it's now 4 weeks ago. So here goes. Hi, I'm Gary Kaufman, and I was here 2 weeks ago at this podium promising to come back here tonight to talk about the Honorable Sandra Ference Cicerelli, which is appropriate given that we just had Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful for Judge Cicerelli's tenure on the bench at Westland's 18th District Court, as I think we all should be. One of my odd hobbies is to be a court watcher. Although I personally have never had a case before Judge Cicerelli, I've watched her in action plenty of times, and I speak from a position of knowledge in reporting to you tonight why I find her so impressive. First, there are a lot of boxes one must check in order to be a truly great judge. You have to have an even temperament, treat every single person in the courtroom with respect, be willing to listen intently to every witness until you have the complete story, not be shy about asking questions from the bench when anything is unclear, come into the courtroom with a heart wanting to see justice done, know the law backward and forward, have the ability to be empathic, have the ability to show compassion and know when showing compassion is the appropriate thing to do, have the ability to show toughness and set limits, and know when doing so is the appropriate thing to do. And above all, the most important thing is having integrity. That's not a complete list, but it'll do for tonight. I'm here tonight, having traveled in bad weather while feeling under the weather, to express one opinion. Judge Cicerelli checks every box, and how. Whatever honors the city is able to bestow upon her as she approaches retirement, and I'm sure there will be many, I don't think that it can ever be enough. Look for me to come back here in 2 weeks to name more heroes of the city. Why? I just like doing things like that.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. Is there anyone on my left? Mr. LeBlanc.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for allowing me to speak. I'm here tonight to say goodbye to a friend, Councilman Jim Hart. 8 years seniority is top seniority since Mr. Godbout became deputy mayor. I think it's pretty interesting that 8 years is top seniority, but you really were the OG of the council. I really believe that. The confidence, the calm demeanor, the ability to bring everyone back to center is something that we could all learn from. And I'm speaking, of course, of time as a councilman and as a council president. And I'm here tonight because when I was city clerk, I really did value and appreciate the relationship that you had with our office. You know, I still see you and Linda in the background at Things Westland. if there's a Westland activity that the Hearts can figure, okay, there's a way that we can help, heck, the whole family comes. I think I saw you like 3 weeks ago at an event. You were behind the scenes, you and Linda managing, and your kids were there. And so when other people said earlier, you know, you'll be doing other things in Westland, it's just continuation, same old stuff in a different capacity. But again, I wish to say thank you.
And is there anyone on my right? Yes, Hammer.
Hello. I am one of the directors of Dave LePay Dance Project. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for waiving that fee for our fundraiser that's coming up. Our mission is to make dance accessible for all kids in our area, regardless of their circumstances. And this is a huge fundraiser that we started last year, and your donation is going to be able to allow us to make that fundraiser grow and bring in more funds to provide more arts for more children. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody.
Well, you're welcome. And is there anyone on my left? And anyone on my right? Okay, seeing and hearing none. You, Mr. Warren, okay, come on up.
Well, thank you, and good evening. In regards to legacies, in regards to former Mayor Tom Taylor, there were two particular experiences. Most of you who are up there, not unless you're over 50 years old, probably over 55, you never experienced it. Don't know who he was, probably never even seen the guy. But with the separations of the two neighborhoods back in the 70s and early 70s, we experienced, particularly in the Afro-American community, was one of the first beginnings of driving while black under his administration. So it was not all roses and things like that. And that continued on for a number of years. So we don't see the same legacy that everyone else sees. The thank yous for the service, and maybe he did provide those entities with services, but it's not like that with the Afro-American community. And if the two were still alive, Riesta Everett, if she was still alive, and she would be saying the same thing in regards to his legacy. So I would say that when I first got here, I was under his legacy. And the question of driving while black and the mistreatment of Afro-Americans down the South End was normal, everyday business for the police department under his leadership. Because, and no matter how we would complain, it would remain the same for those years. We're talking, like I said, we're talking pretty much 50 years ago. And but I would have to say now today things are a little better. We can approach the police department and get some resolution to our problems, but we still have a long ways to go in regards to that. Because I say that any police department that would come to a meeting and pretty much say that they're not ready to accept any recommendations for the citizens that they serve, there is a problem there. And that happened right here in this room. So that struggle is still on, because you can't have two voices, one when you go out into the community and say you're in favor of it, and then when you're in front of your people, you say you're not in favor of it. So I just want us to look at those kinds of things. There were two distinct Westlands at that particular time, and there's still some very distinction there. And police, administration, and community relationships with the mayor's office on all levels has got to be a whole lot better in order for the city of Westland to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warren, I appreciate that. Anyone else on my right? Anyone else on my left? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we will close public comment and move on to comments from the administration. Deputy Mayor Godbout.
Thanks, Council President. I want to thank you for taking a moment of silence in memory of the third mayor of the city, Tom Taylor. Let like I said, Tom was our third mayor. It was during a period of time when there was significant amount of growth in the late 70s, early 80s. And he was the driving force behind at the tower, which is now called Thomas Taylor Towers. At the time, it was Central City Tower. And the board, after Tom was no longer mayor, decided to honor him with renaming the tower after him. And then he ended up serving on the board for decades as well on that. And the whole financing model and the way that he went about putting that project together is something that I know when I was on council, we benefited from financially by being able to refinance the building once it became the city's property again, which funded our capital improvement fund for a number of years. So I could go on and on about Tom. I've known Tom for a long time, and it's a loss to his community. I was fortunate enough in 2018 to sit down with Tom and Andy and on a video that we did on WLND, and and they talk about some of the things that were going on and some of the how the Taylor Towers project even came about. So you can find it on the city YouTube channel. It's out there, but it'll give you some insight as to what happened and how they moved the city forward during a very critical time in the city's growth. So on behalf of the mayor and the entire city of Westland, I'd like to express our condolences to his wife Phyllis and the entire family. City offices will be closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Trash pickup will be delayed by one day for Thursday and Friday, both of those weeks. Christmas trees will be picked up on your normal garbage day during the first 2 weeks in January. You can also take your tree to the recycling center on Marquette Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please remove any decorations from your tree prior to putting it at the curb or dropping it off at the recycling center. The inaugural ceremony to swear in Mayor Coleman for his new 4-year term and the newly elected and re-elected city council members will be on Monday, January 5th at 6 p.m. in the Grand Ballroom. The city council meeting will begin at 7 o'clock after that ceremony. And on behalf of the city and the mayor, I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very happy and safe holiday season. Thanks, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Godbout. Anything from the city attorney's office this evening?
The only thing I'd like to say tonight is to my friend Jim Hart, hoo-ah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, City Attorney Fasson. And we will now begin council comments this evening from Councilman Jim Hart.
I get to go first, huh? All right. Geez, where do I start? 8 years. So 8 years doesn't sound like a lot, but it does. I've served with 3 mayors, 3 fire chiefs, 2 police chiefs, and everybody sitting here in the council wasn't here when I started. And with the exception of Deputy Mayor Godbout, who was on the council then, council president, and the only one that's still here, Jim Fasson. I say that to say this is progress moves quickly, okay? I'm thankful for the opportunity I've had in these 8 years. We've actually done a lot. I mean, a lot of the things that we're seeing now are things that we put together years prior, okay? Fire Station 2, that just didn't happen in a vacuum over the past year, right? That started years ago. The Nankin Annex, that started years ago. right? It takes a while for some of these things to move forward. So as you see these things going on, just know that progress moves quickly, and sometimes it moves quickly while people come in and come out. And I've been fortunate enough to have, you know, an involvement in all of these things and being able to have my voice heard. The residents gave me 2 terms, 8 years to serve them, and I'm very grateful. And my colleagues gave me 4 years to serve as their president, and I was grateful for that as well. A lot of my colleagues know that I have a kind of a style. My leadership style's honed over, you know, years of military service, corporate service, nonprofit leadership, management, you know. And so I wanted to leave you with a couple pearls of wisdom, okay? And that's just not for my colleagues, my new colleagues, you know, the ones that have been here for a while, the ones that are coming on, but anybody else who might be looking at doing these kinds of things or being a community leader. And leader isn't a position of authority, it's a position of responsibility. And it's a big difference between the two and knowing what those are. But first, and in no particular order, one, cooler heads always prevail. Cooler heads always prevail. Calm, rational approach to every single problem is the best way to approach it. When emotion gets involved, you lose your point, you lose your power, you lose your voice. We'll see. So cooler heads always prevail. Understanding and asking yourself a very important question when you have an issue in front of you. Is this the hill I'm going to die on, right? And some of my colleagues know I use that, right? Is this the hill you're going to die on? Sometimes you might disagree with something, but is it really worth making a big fuss about it? Okay, is it just a penny ante thing, or is it something that moves you in a spiritual way? And if it does, then that's the hill you'll die on. And you guys have heard me say that up here before. This is the hill I'll die on, right? So that's when you'll know. 3, to the late, great Robert Heinlein. For any of you familiar with the author, Robert Heinlein's got a great one-liners. One of them, and I won't explain it now, but go home and learn what it really means, and it is, never try to teach a pig to sing. You just waste your time and annoy the pig, all right? There's meaning behind that. Read it. It'll make you good at what you do. 4th, it's always the right time to do the right thing. Okay, so remember I said if it's a hill, if this is the hill you're going to die on, then it's always the right time to do the right thing. And last, I'll say, just remember this too, he or she who praises himself has a congregation of one. All right? In politics especially, people never miss an opportunity to pat themselves on the back, glad hand themselves, and prop themselves up. This does things to people, okay? Being able to recognize what it does sometimes can take away part of your soul, all right? So remember that. He who praises himself is a congregation of one. If you did it for the title, and if you did it for the recognition, you did it for the wrong bloody reason, resign as soon as you can, all right? So if you're doing it to serve, then that's the right reason. Continue to do so. If you follow those things, you're going to do well, not only for yourselves, you're going to do well for all the residents out there. So remember that. Those are my pearls of wisdom. And the last one is for those of you who it applies to, brevity. Brevity.
Hoo-ah.
Brevity is more than just being short. Brevity means if you can't make your point in 3 minutes or less, you didn't have a point to begin with. All right? And you're wasting everyone's time. And secondly, brevity is also a courtesy to everybody else in the room. Unlike what I'm doing now, and this is probably the longest I've ever spoken in my 8 years, okay? Don't hold the entire room hostage just because you want to pontificate upon the podium or the dais or your position, because it's rude and disrespectful to everybody else, and I'll be the one to come out here and tell you. All right. Beyond that, I've been successful in my time, and I'm thankful for what I've done. Again, I've served with 3 mayors, and I have fought with every single one. Okay? I have fought with every single one, and I do a really good job to keep those fights back there, not up here. Sometimes it did spill over a little bit, but I did a really good job of making sure that I realized that the legislative body is the legislative body. We're here as a control and as a balance for the administration, okay? And when I was council president, I fought with Bill Wild, I fought with Mayor Mike Londo, and I've had differences of opinion with this mayor, but we're still getting things done, all right? He's still got his budget 7-0, right? So things are moving along, but keep that in mind as well. Lastly, I want to thank the most important person in my life, and that's Linda. Linda's the one who put up with me to do this. And really, when you elected me, you elected her. Because you guys know, when I go home, she's the one who's giving it to me, right? So everything that she talks to me about, we come up here and talk. We're a team. We work together. We always have. You guys have seen us at events before I was on city council together. You've seen us at events while I was on city council together. That's not going to change come January. Linda and I are going to be very involved. You're going to see us around all the time, and we're always available to share a brew with you, whether it was made that morning at the coffee shop or whether it was made later on that day in Milwaukee or St. Louis. All right, so beyond that, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. I've had a lifetime of service to country and community. This is just another chapter in our story. Like I said earlier, thank you, thank you, thank you, and good luck to all of my colleagues and future council members in the future. Thank you, Council President.
The thanks truly goes back to you and Linda and your entire family for their 8 years, your 8 years of service. So thank you, Councilman Hart. We will now hear from Councilwoman Lakeisha Maxwell.
All right, I just want to, oh, sorry, push the button. I'm still new. Okay. Just want to say again, thank you for your service, Councilman Hart. Thank you. I also want to say I've been enjoying all of the Westland holiday events for the last 2 weeks. I hope that others have as well. But I will say on Friday was my first time serving at the Friendship Center, and that was so amazing. So after the food, then I peeked back in, and they were on the dance floor having a ball. And then Saturday I was at Gethsemane Church, and so I've been enjoying the holiday events. And then lastly, I just want to wish Westland a happy holidays and a safe and prosperous new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Maxwell. We will now hear from Councilwoman Rakowski.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to those at home. I'm trying not to get a little verklempt, so I apologize, but that's nothing new. You guys are used to me being emotional. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Hart and Linda as a JC, and that we were in rival chapters at the time. I quickly was given James as my mentor as a local president. And right off the bat, I just kind of, he has a very magnetic style of leadership, and is the type of person that is very open to mentoring those who want to learn. And so that was my first experience of Jim and Linda at a conference, which used to be called convention, in their matching kilts. And I believe you had your black fedoras at that time. But the Hart family really epitomizes one of the lines of the JC's creed, and I say it a lot up here every time I thank somebody for offering their time and services and expertise to our community, and that service to humanity is the best work of life. And Jim and Linda collectively, and the legacy that they've developed through their children, really are a testimony to your service being the best work of life. I had the honor of being awarded a wonderful black fedora as part of a Black Hat Society when the Westland JCs were in their prime, styled by the wonderful Mr. Dewey Reeves. It was kind of, it's one of those tongue-in-cheek, proud moments of knowing that you've made it, kid. And I think it was kind of at that point that Jim, through going into public service, what do you do when you're done serving your community? As a young professional, you become a professional in your community, and that was certainly, you acted as a wonderful role model for me. So thank you very much for that.
I'm going to use my second most popular phrase when I spoke about our illustrious former clerk and saying it's very difficult to eulogize your tenure. See, I fixed it. I'm not giving your eulogy, I'm eulogizing your tenure. So thank you for everything that you've given to our community. We can talk your history for days, and we have. But really what you've contributed to our residents and our city as a member of council is pretty immeasurable. I think the legacy that you've left with your demeanor is something that's admirable. And I think you've set a pretty high bar for about how all of us could regard one another with respect and compassion. So for that, I'm eternally grateful, and I hope that all of us up here have an opportunity to try to step out of that shadow, though that's a broadly cast shadow. We're so close to the holiday season. I want to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa for the kids who are going to be out of school for the next 2 weeks. If you're going to go online, go to the City of Westland Library, see what kind of activities they have. Check out your City of Westland website, because we have a lot of different activities. I know there's probably going to be things at our ice rink. So moms and dads and other adult people, there are some things that'll keep your kiddos busy for the 2 weeks. Once the tinsel and shine of Christmas has waned a little bit at home, and we're ready to, thank those teachers for everything they do so that those kids aren't home for the 2 weeks. There are plenty of activities in your community, so I would ask you to check some of those out. So I'm going to wish my students an early happy winter break. Extra credit if you tell Miss R that you saw her meeting. They know that. But to everyone in the city of Westland, joyous of holidays to all of you, however you choose to celebrate. But please, in the midst of your celebrations, do so safely and with kindness for one another. Please regard of all of the seasons that this is about love and respect for your fellow man. So at the heart of it, please keep that at the forefront of your actions as we celebrate this season. And we will see you then next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Rakowski. We will now hear from Councilman Sullivan.
Thank you. Well, let's start with Jim. Jim, it's been a pleasure serving for an entire month with you. But, as you know, before this, I spent a lot of time out there, and I watched your leadership, and I thought you were an excellent council president. You've been a great leader, well-spoken, and you've done a lot for the city, and I appreciate everything that you have done and the leadership that you've shown. The only other thing I want to add is please come back often with that message of brevity. I'm not sure it got through to everybody yet, but, I believe in it wholeheartedly. I've been preaching it. It's been preached to me out there so often. Brevity is important. Get the message out. Have respect for the people and their time, and I believe that's a very good message, and I appreciate you sharing that. Beyond that, I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. There's been a lot of great things going on in the city. I've seen a lot of people at the events. We've got more coming up, but I hope everyone enjoys time with their families, their loved ones. And if you're not going to be out and about at events, please enjoy some time relaxing and resting over the holidays, and look forward to seeing everyone in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. We will now hear from Councilwoman Baumann.
Thank you. I feel like we should be doing a roast, and it's supposed to, but anyway, I actually did get to work with you two meetings when you were still president, when I first came in November 2023, for that. And so, yes, I got my tour with you in those early days. And I've appreciated your perspective on a lot of things, and I've appreciated in sitting in study sessions, listening to your perspective on things, and to consider that, because I think that's really important. So I want to thank you for your service to our country and our city, and you also said state, so as well for that. And I know we'll be seeing you lots. I mean, because as you said, you're not going anywhere. And I will say that my son is actually still bugging me and say, well, I still get to see his cars? Just so you know, he is really on that. Anyway, so thank you for that. And thank you for actually being an inspiration for my son as well. I appreciate that too, just for that, because he does really look up to you, and I appreciate that. So on that note, yes, there's a lot of things going on. I can't remember how, hopefully we'll see everybody on December 18th at the Winter Market with all the trees in our Nankin Square. I think that's going to be exciting. Hopefully it won't be raining. And I do just want to close with it's a time for a lot of Christmas specials on TV and things like that, and one of my favorites, actually I heard some other people make mention of this same part, is when Linus explains to Charlie Brown what Christmas is all about, taken from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verse 8 through 14. Linus says, "And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over the flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." And he said, that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. And yes, peace and goodwill toward men, and remembering that. And I do say that this is a stressful time for a lot of people, and I do pray that everyone just breathes before they speak sometimes. And so thank you, and we will see you the rest of the year at the different events, and then in January. Have a good one.
Thank you, Councilwoman Baumann. We will now hear from Pro Tem Sampe.
All right, thank you. I won't belabor the point, Jim. Obviously, you know what you mean to all of us, so I did say some words, but wanted to thank you again, and I think my colleagues all touched on it. So 8 years you impacted a lot of people, so we're excited to continue to see you around. I also wanted to quickly thank the people that jumped online. Westland Goodfellows had a sponsor that dropped out last minute, so it left 10 children without a Christmas. So Westland Community News had reached out and said that they'd be willing to help. So we got those 10 kids taken care of, and I know we're going to do a more formal presentation at the next council meeting. But 400 children had a Christmas, so thank you again for everyone that sponsored, stepped up, supported, shared a post, and just supported us throughout this journey. It's been an interesting journey this year. Just one last reminder, the canned food drive is still taking place. Mayor Coleman and Councilwoman Rakowski and myself, we hosted kind of a kickoff, but we still are accepting cans pretty much until the end of the month, but we're hoping that we can get a donation over to the Family Resource Center, because we're hoping that the children and families that need some food over break will have an opportunity to visit the Family Resource Center before school ends, which is this week. So if you're watching this or in the audience, if you want to drop anything off, they will be getting it over to the Family Resource Center, and that is directly benefiting the families here in Westland. Also, a reminder that Lighthouse Home Mission is looking for winter items. So it's starting to get cold very quickly, and they're always looking for hats and gloves and long johns. They said medium and large is the best opportunity to do that shopping and cover that. They're also looking for food items. So I know last year I put together a wish list. I will get this out again for those that are interested, but I know they're going to have a busy season because it seems like the temperatures now are all starting to plummet very quickly. So if you're interested, Lighthouse Home Mission right on Palmer and Vinoy is where you can drop off the items on the side of the building. That's where the drop-off is. It says Lighthouse Home Mission, but please consider them in your donation causes this year. And then lastly, I just wanted to say that this will be my last meeting as pro tem. I've enjoyed being in council leadership, but I have a very busy 2026. So my son, 18-year-old son, just started a new business, so I'm super excited to help him with that. I have a book that I'm finishing and publishing, and I have a special announcement in 2026 that I'll be talking about another leadership role that's going to help the city out as well. So still a council member, but I just wanted to thank my colleagues. I know that there's going to be new leadership up here at the next meeting, but I am not seeking that appointment just because I'm going to prioritize my family in 2026. Wanted to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. I hope you spend some time with your family. I hope that everyone is able to just take a deep breath and relax and just spend a lot of time just self-reflecting before we get into 2026. So we'll see you Monday, January 5th, 7 p.m. Until then, be safe and kind with one another, and again, have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you, Pro Tem Sampe. Brevity, do you think maybe he was talking about me?
The shoe fits.
Just you.
I won't reiterate everything I said, but I do, again, want to humbly thank Councilman Jim Hart, not only for his service in the community on City Council, but his service along with his family, along with his wife Linda, for many years as president of the Westland JCs, and his mentorship for me in my position here as the leader of your Westland City Council. So you will be missed, your thoughtful nature, the ideas you brought to the table, and the pushback that you would give when something didn't always smell right will most certainly be missed up here on the dais in the study session chambers, but we hope to see you around. And thank you very much for your service to our community and to our country as well. I want to thank everybody who came out to the number of great events that we had going on over the last couple of days. Number one, I want to thank Beth Welkenbach and her team over at the Friendship Center, Beth, Matt, all of our DPS employees who were over there helping to set the room up for another great Friendship Center luncheon. Thank you for doing that for our seniors here in the Westland community, and to all of my colleagues who I saw there serving our seniors. Thank you, and the mayor as well, and deputy mayor, thank you for showing up and serving our seniors. And of course, most of all, thank you to all of our seniors who made it such a great Christmas event there at the Friendship Center. I also want to thank our community engagement and director, Pascal Ize, as well as Nicole Jones and Danny Duque, and the entire community engagement team for a great event out at the Gethsemane Church. I had the chance to attend that event on Saturday along with Pro Tem Sampe. Councilwoman Bauman was there, Councilwoman Maxwell was there, I believe. Councilman Sullivan, did you stop by as well? Okay. But I saw several of my colleagues there. Mayor Coleman was there as well. So thank you for showing up, and thank you to our community engagement team for putting on a great event. And thank you to Pastor Duckworth and the congregation over at Gethsemane Missionary Baptist Church for hosting us. So we certainly appreciate it, and all of the delicious food that was served there as well. That was a real treat, so thank you for hosting us. I want to thank my colleague, Pro Tem Sampe, and the entire leadership team at the Westland Goodfellows for another very successful year, serving hundreds of kids and families here in our community. You know, a lot of us take for granted that we, growing up, had something to open up for Christmas, or that for those who have kids, I do not, but for those who have kids, that your kids have something to open up for Christmas. And a lot of kids in our community from working class families do not have something to open up. So I want to thank Pro Tem Sampe and the entire Goodfellows team, as well as the Westland Police Department, for another successful year in making sure that every child has something to open up this holiday and Christmas season. I want to briefly thank our Westland Rotary Club for another successful Taste Fest event. I know I see some Rotarians in the audience, Councilwoman Martin, and I think some others here. So thank you for another wonderful Taste Fest event. It's always a pleasure. And it's really one of my favorite events. Anything that involves food, beer, is always a great event to go to. So whether it's Blues Brews or Taste Fest, always appreciative of and love attending it. So thank you for putting on that event. Thank you, Don, for stepping up again. You and Gail both for serving as our community newspaper. Hopefully, our leaders in Lansing are listening and we can change that law. But until then, thank you for stepping up there. And then just three other things real quick. I'm not going to belabor all the food drives that were mentioned here in the community. There is one other one, though, that I did want to make note of. The Metro Detroit DSA, along with your Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, your state representative, Dylan Wangela, and myself as council president, are also collecting food to drop off at places like Elmwood, Blessing Box, Mother's Pantry in Inkster, and the Lighthouse. So we are always happy to take your food donations as well. If you cannot get them over to one of those food pantries, or if you know someone in need, give us a call and we'd be happy to drive someone to a food pantry or pick up food on their behalf if you know someone in need. You can reach out to Congresswoman Tlaib's office, State Representative Dylan Wangela's office, or myself directly, and we'd be happy to support anyone in need that you may know, or if you yourself are in need of assistance. And we have one other thing I wanted to mention. Even though this doesn't affect the Starbucks in our community, we have many striking workers in Starbucks here across Metro Detroit and across the country, so please show solidarity for striking Starbucks workers. And then with that, I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. I hope you all have a happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that. I hope you all have a happy New Year. And most of all, I hope you have a happy Festivus for the rest of us if you celebrate the Seinfeld holiday at Festivus. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?